the chosen one. God unveils your new identity. Be prepared for it. You have not been asked to blend in, conform, or stay little. You have been marked by something bigger. Destiny's unseen hand has shaped us and given a task that goes beyond the cacophony of this world. There is a greater truth emerging inside you, one that refuses to be buried by fear or the views of people who will never comprehend your purpose. Your life has not been random. Your suffering has not been futile. Every delay, rejection, grief, and quiet season has been part of God's perfect plan to unveil the identity He planted inside you from the start. The uncovering process has already started, and this film, this moment, is part of it. Wait till the finish, because something in your soul will spark. Send your fondest wishes. 777 in the comments section. Enliven the environment and connect yourself with divine activity. This is more than just a video. This is the release point. A spiritual statement that you are no longer who you once were. Something bigger is being summoned forward. The chosen one. Your new identity is being unveiled. Get ready for it now. The chosen one. I like this video. Subscribe. If you have not subscribed to the channel, let we begin. There are times when God conceals you. And then there comes a moment when God exposes you not just to the world, but also to yourself before you may step into your destiny. You must be able to identify yourself in it. And that is where you are today. You've gone through a desert of identity, a lengthy trip in which you questioned your purpose, worth, and location. But the fog is dissipating. What was previously hidden is now being revealed. Your spirit senses it before your eyes see it. You're not insane. You're not lost. You're evolving. The world may still be speaking to your former self, but heaven has already addressed the new. This is why you've been experiencing stress recently. This is why some surroundings no longer seem appropriate. Your identity has outgrown the prison it was once inhabited. You are in the process of becoming. God is creating a new version of you, one with clarity, strength, purpose, and power. The views of others are no longer important. Their labels, restrictions, and predictions are useless. God is erasing the false names they have set on you and exposing your genuine name. You are emerging from invisibility. The spiritual form of yourself is being unveiled. It is not weak. It isn't confused. It isn't frightened. It is bold. It's royal. It is entire. That version of yourself has been veiled behind pain, survival, and quiet. But now it is being propelled onward by heavenly power. This explains why some designs are flaking off of you. This is why you can no longer accept anything less than alignment. You have changed. You have been selected. And now you're being confirmed. The chosen one. Pay careful attention. There is no going back to the past. The door is closed. Your previous roles and masks no longer fit. That old existence cannot contain your new nature. You passed the concealing test. You are now in the season of revelation. Do not let fear keep you tiny. Do not allow past failures dictate your future. You are no longer the same person. You are being created in the image of the divine. You are entering a spiritual authority that has always been yours. However, the power does not originate outside of you. It is emanating from inside. It is not necessary to seek for your actual self. It's something you must tolerate. You have already been designed. The blueprint is now immortal. God is only activating what was already sown. This is called identity activation. Not a costume, not a trend, not a performance. This is your entire reveal. You are not only called, you're prepared. You are not only anointed, you've got a point. The world is about to see the revelation. You've had times when you saw it, felt your own strength, and realized that your life worth more than what others saw. You were correct. That was not ego. It was a prophecy. That was your spirit testifying about what has been buried under the surface. And suddenly it is increasing. You aren't weak. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're on time. And heaven is moving beside you. The adversary attempted to mislead you so that you would abandon your identity. But the falsehoods are losing their hold. Every day that passes is indication that you are progressing. It's okay if you don't always recognize yourself. That is confirmation, because you are becoming someone the world has yet to witness. Do not be terrified of your strength. Don't try to fit in areas you've already outgrown. Do not apologize for your promotion. You are not arbitrary. You are not just surviving. You're rising with purpose. You are waking up with vision. Your actions are prophetic. Your journey is royal. This isn't about ego. This is about the essence. Your soul remembers what your mind forgets. You are not designed to live an average life. You were never intended to just follow the crowd. You have been set out. You have been marked. And now the interior discovery necessitates an outward reflection. Do not undermine it with skepticism. Don't be hesitant. You've cried for clarity, and now it's arrived. God is revealing you to the version of yourself that has been concealed for this very time. There is strength in accepting who you are, and there is liberation in no longer trying to be anything less. You do not need permission to ascend. You do not need praise to be real. What God has implanted in you is beyond dispute. You are not an experiment. You're a revelation. Old cycles, emotions, and voices, they no longer define you. Your reality is emerging. Your power is increasing, and your identity is solidifying. This isn't simply a glow-up. This is a miraculous improvement. You have been entrusted with change. That's why the voyage was difficult. That explains why you felt alone. God has been undertaking a secret job so that the public version of you conveys praise rather than ego. Your individuality is sacred. It is not determined by status trends or followers. It is defined by assignment. Your task demands authenticity. The more you embrace your own identity, the more doors will open. Not because you coerce them, but because heaven recognizes its own. The version of you that used to grovel for acceptance is gone. The version of you who relied on affirmation from others who couldn't see you is no longer present. That was survival mode. However, you are now experiencing an epiphany. You do not pursue. They call. You do not prove. You embody. You do not shrink. You radiate, because you now understand that what occurred to you did not define your identity. It's what's going through you. It is not about appearing to be strong. It's about acknowledging that you already are. You don't need to struggle for recognition if you've already been identified. You don't need a title to exercise authority. You're it. You have been it. You're just now confident enough to stroll in it. Nothing can halt the impetus that comes with divine alignment. Every problem you've experienced has been an opportunity for training. Every stillness, seasoning was a strategy. Every no was a prelude to a larger yes. You're not behind. You're being revealed. The spotlight isn't about ego. It exposes the truth. The beauty of this season is that your ascension does not result from force. It stems from freedom. You do not need to manipulate, pursue, or compete. You only need to be. The supernatural doesn't need your hustling. It requires your submission. Accepting your new identity will cause your world to transform. Because your identity is vital. Your identification is what grants you access. Your identity invites miracles to find you and favor to surround you. The finest part. This is not a temporary change. This is permanent. This is not exaggeration. This is sacred. You do not go back from this. You cannot unsee who you actually are. And once you step into it, the world has no option but to adapt to the weight you bear. You're no longer waiting to become. You are now disclosing what was always true. You were picked before you realized it. And now it's time to act like it. You're no longer in the crowd. You have been chosen for a heavenly purpose. This separation is not a rejection. It's a redirection. It is not punishment. It's about positioning. God isn't attempting to isolate you. He's establishing you. Your identity is not shaped by noise. It is developed via quiet. That is why you have been dragged away. That is why some individuals have wandered. Why have some pathways closed? Your new identity cannot be supported by old energy. What's occurring to you right now is complete refining. You are being cleansed of false identities that were imposed on you as a result of suffering, trauma, and misinterpretation by others. You are being purged of every story that attempted to label you out of fear. You are being cleaned of labels derived from others' anxieties. This is the reason your soul has been struggling. It knows what is being shed. It recognizes what is no longer useful. And although it may be strange, it is vital. You're getting prepped for platforms your previous identification could not carry. You are being matched with promises that need your genuine self, not your shielded or injured self, but your divine self. The one who existed in spirit before the earth ever touched you. You are returning to your true identity, not what life has taught you to be, but who God created you to be. Every layer that falls away creates space for that essence to ascend. Don't oppose the revelation even if it makes you feel vulnerable, uncomfortable, or like you don't recognize yourself. Trust the divine process. You are not falling apart. You are being reassembled. You are not being emptied to become hollow. You are being transformed. So divine truth may inhabit every aspect of you. There is no shame in shedding. Only when you let go of what is not you can you find true freedom. You create room for what genuinely exists. This is why things have been so heated recently. Identity shifts are spiritual earthquakes. They shake something that was never real. They collapse what has never been everlasting. And they reveal what has always been concealed under the surface. The real you is not weak. The real you isn't uncertain. The actual you is not frightened of being seen. The authentic you is radiant, confident, led, and anchored. That you are now ascending. And it won't be stopped. Heaven remembers you. Your new identity is not entirely fresh to God. It is new to you. It has always been written. It has long been known. This season isn't about discovery. It is about recollection. Your spirit recalls the words God uttered over you long before you breathed your first breath. Your spirit recalls the nobility encoded in your existence. The memory is now being revived. You do not need to try to be it. You just have to let it. And as you walk in your actual identity, everything changes around you. Atmospheres shift and cycles break. Favor finds you. Everything seems to fall into place. Why? Because you are no longer pretending. You are no longer apologizing. You no longer wear masks that conceal your true self. You're alive now. You are awake now. You're in agreement now. You're precisely where you should be. Everything you need is already on its way to you. The earth cannot describe what heaven has shown. The world will attempt to place you into boxes. It will attempt to restrict your objective. It will attempt to water you down to something. It has control. But you are not designed to be confined. You're a divine disturbance. You're a living prophecy. You are a physical manifestation of heaven's message. When you step in, no assault can destroy you. No falsehood can remain with you. You will not be held back by any delay. The chosen one. The battle has been hard because your identity is loaded with purpose. The adversary does not target what is not valued. Confusion, spiritual opposition, and murmurs of unworthiness. They were all intended to prevent you from seeing your own reflection. But suddenly the curtain is lifting. The fog is dissipating. And what's being exposed is tremendous, dazzling, and unstoppable. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of your revelation. There are doors waiting for the real you. There are duties awaiting the exposed you. There are those who will be cured if you come up in your true nature. This is not a selfish revelation. This is a holy obligation. You are not being ignited only for yourself. You are being triggered for people who will only perceive truth as it is mirrored in you. That is how important you are to the divine chronology. Yes, there will be moments when you feel lonely. Yes, you could be misinterpreted, but that's the cost of sincerity. That is the expense of following what God has spoken, not what man expects. But it's worthwhile because what you're carrying is precious. You embody brightness, and those who are supposed to acknowledge you will. Your tribe, alignments, and possibilities. They're already circling around your frequency. Keep soaring. Keep coming. Keep yielding. There's no going back. You have seen too much. It felt too much. We've grown too much. The former self may still murmur, but it no longer leads. You are being reintroduced to life under heavenly control. Nor arrogance. Awareness. Not in control. Confidence. You are not pushing identity. You're flowing through it. That is the difference. This is not performance. This is an embodiment. This is what being selected really means. This is why God had to separate you so you could hear His voice above the clamor and be reminded of your true self without the world's filters. So you could stop looking for affirmation in mirrors that were always broken. You needed to meet yourself again. Your heavenly self. The one built with power. The one built on purpose. The one created in His likeness. Everything that did not turn out was part of the awakening. Every loss, closed door, and treachery, they were not penalties. These were revelations. They demonstrated who you are by demonstrating what you are not. They peeled away the illusions. And here you are, still standing, becoming, and heading toward everything. God whispered in your spirit. This is a confirmation. The new you isn't arriving. It's already arrived. You have already passed over. The previous scripts no longer apply. The traditional timelines are no longer binding. You're stepping into something fresh. You are inhaling something immortal. You are manifesting something wonderful. And this identity, it will alter everything. Get ready. Maintain alignment. Continue to be open. Stay true. Because what comes next will demand your complete potential. The seen version. The fearless version. The God-ordained version. When that version takes the lead, marvels happen. Not from effort, but because of essence. You are the shift. You are on the go. You are the message. You've been carrying the weight of borrowed names for far too long. Names that will never be yours. Not enough. Difficult. Unworthy. These designations did not come from God. They were projections of wounded individuals in damaged places, from periods of bewilderment. However, such designations are now dropping. They're being removed from your soul like old skin. What lies underneath is dazzling truth. Your true identity, pure and unspoiled. You've endured years of being misunderstood because the true you wasn't ready to be exposed. God was working silently. He created you not for popularity, but for a reason. Not for applause, but for authority. This was never about getting attention. This was all about alignment. And now every tribulation, storm, and tear begins to make sense. You did not lose your path. You were being guided through a change. The chosen one. You didn't fit in because you were not designed to blend in. You were not designed to adjust to broken patterns. You were designed to test them. Your life was never meant to be comfortable. That uneasy feeling you've always had in shallow spots, that was your spirit screaming out for the truth. That was your divine DNA rejecting anything less than your calling. And now that inner understanding is growing. You aren't running anymore. You are remembering. The awakening is about more than simply insight. It's about bravery. The bravery to act on what you've always known deep down. The bravery to let go of all that kept you secure, but kept you little. The bravery to be recognized as your whole God-designed self, rather than a version altered for approval. This is not a little moment. This is your heavenly revelation. And heaven is watching. The earth is moving as the chosen one steps into their full potential. People who previously ignored you will be unable to do so anymore. Not because you're demanding attention, but because your presence now carries divine power. You no longer enter rooms expecting to be accepted. You walk in knowing you've been sent. You now carry a heavenly weight, an energy that speaks before you. And that is not arrogance. That is alignment. That's what happens when heaven lays its hands on you. You'll notice things changing around you. You embraced who you are, not because you changed. Your actual identity is attuned to divine timing. When you walk authentically, you will attract the appropriate individuals, open the right doors, and get the proper favor. You don't pursue what you already have. You agree. You receive. You go confidently because you know who sent you. This explains why the delay was essential. God wasn't just preparing the blessing. He was training you to accept it without shrinking, apologizing, or reverting. You're not the same person who originally prayed for a breakthrough. You have been purified in fire. You have been shaped by quiet. Storms have made you stronger. And what is unfolding today is quite strong, beyond understanding.